Hey, Lunch Bunch! Welcome back to Cristin Eats. Today I'm going to be having some Mickey D's, some McDonald's, whatever you want to call it, some fried greasy goodness. My little man is joining us today. He needed some lunch. He likes Happy Meals. So just like, all panned out. So he's got some chicken nuggets. He's dipping it in some honey mustard. He's got some french fries. I ordered a Coke. Got a little bit of honey mustard sitting out here. And let's see what we got in here. My wallet. Got 2 apple pies, one for me, one for him. Also, it is like past nap time, so we will see how long he can hang out. I don't know how far he's gonna make it. We'll see. Got me a large french fry. Some apple juice for him. Fry that fell out of the box there. And a crispy chicken sandwich. I love these sandwiches. They're so good. I'm going to get him a sippy cup. I'll be right back. So he can definitely drink out of a straw like this on the juice box. So like if we're out in town or something, we go to a restaurant. A lot of restaurants have juice boxes. It's just fine. But he needs to be assisted with it because if I just hand it to him, he wants to like squeeze it. So since we're at home, we'll go ahead and just pour it on in a sippy cup. Yeah, and then you can just do it yourself. And you won't make a mess. Yee! There we go. Let's get my sandwich out here. I'm so hungry. I was thinking about doing, last night, I was thinking about doing a mukbang today. And I couldn't decide, where I wanted to eat and what I wanted to do. I wasn't very hungry last night. So when you're not hungry, nothing sounds good. But this afternoon, it's probably about 1:30 now. I'm really hungry. But I still can think about what I wanted to get. I just wanted something quick and easy. I didn't want to have to go in and order or go in and pick it up. I just wanted something fast. And McDonald's is popular here on the mukbang community. So I figured I'll just join the bandwagon and do a mukbang using McDonald's. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. Not my thing. But the little guy over here loves tomatoes, so I'm just chopping this up for him. Real quick, little bite-sized baby pieces. Yeah, you're hungry, aren't you? Here's your tomato. Used to always order my sandwiches without tomatoes until we found out that he likes them, so now I go ahead and get tomatoes for him. So what's on this sandwich is supposed to be tomato, mayonnaise, lettuce. I don't think there's any pickles. Could be wrong. And then a crispy chicken breast. Get ready for another nugget. Chicken nuggets is the only meat we can get him to eat pretty much. So we keep chicken nuggets at home on hand in the freezer. We just bake them in the oven. Obviously a lot healthier than McDonald's nuggets, but it's hard to get him to eat. So while we were going through the drive-thru, all the workers seen my dog, and they were all excited about her. And the guy who was in the window was talking to her and then telling everybody behind him, they're look at the cuteness, look at the cuteness. There's a Fluffy, there is a Fluffy. That's what this guy is saying. It's all his coworkers are coming over to look out the window. And then we pull up to the next window to get the food, and they'd been notified about the dog. So there was a handful of people there, ready to see her. Uh-huh. I actually boycotted McDonald's for a while. couple years I didn't really eat it. But I kind of did that with pretty much all fast foods for a couple of years. But then we had him, and when he was like, I don't know, close to a year old, they brought out the Mario Brothers Happy Meal toys. And my husband was like, oh, he needs Mario Brother Happy Meals. And I was like, okay, we'll like, get him one. He loved it. I didn't know how he would do. Didn't know how much of it he would eat. Loved the french fries. Loved the chicken nuggets. So now we're back to doing McDonald's. So I got new neighbors. I may or may not have talked about this a little bit already here on this channel. I know I've talked about it quite a bit on my main channel. Link is below if you want to watch all my other videos. But we ended up getting new neighbors. Our old ones were horrible, pretty much. For like nearly 2 years of us living here in our house. They were nice people, but they like to sit out on their front porch and yell and scream at each other in the middle of the night, all night. They go on for hours of them just being outside yelling at each other. And when we first moved in, we didn't have him yet, so we just ignored it and slept through it, whatever. Then when we had him, like, their front porch lines right up with his bedroom window. And that's not good for him to have to sleep through the neighbors yelling and screaming at each other, So, anyway. The couple that were living there ended up breaking up. I don't think they were actually married, but they ended up breaking up. She gets a new boyfriend. Things get super quiet. She gets a car. I'm thinking, oh wow, she's really doing good for herself. Come to find out, the car she had was her mom's, which I don't know why they didn't give her that car when she was with her ex that she had been with for like the 10 years that she lived in this house. The house that we live in now was my grandmother's. We inherited it. So we knew these people for a while. Like, we didn't know them, but like we knew who they were. They'd lived there for 10 years. And my grandma's neighbors. Yeah. Well, anyway, she ends up getting this car. It's her mom's car. Really? Is that so? Turns out they were in there smoking meth. I guess she always had like a pill addiction or something. I was talking to the neighbors on the other side who have also lived here forever. They knew each other a little bit better. It turns out Ashley, the neighbor who was living next door to us, she had a pill addiction. She got up with this new boyfriend, and they started smoking meth together in the house. And then she lost her job that she'd had for like 13 years, and they got evicted because they stopped paying rent. So the house has been empty probably 3 weeks. The landlords were there doing a lot of work on the place. And as of like last Tuesday, we got new neighbors. I thought it was like an old lady because that's what I kept seeing. I've seen her twice. Once with the landlords, I'm assuming they were doing the walkthrough. And another time when like all the moving was happening. Like, she was the only person I seen. Even with the moving. There was like 2 or 3 cars there, so I knew there had to be other people. But she's the only one I seen outside. So, yesterday, I'm outside talking to my other neighbor, who is an older woman. She's so sweet, I love her. And she loves my dog too. So I was outside, my dog did her business, and I was talking to my neighbor. And this guy walks out of the house. And he asked me, hey, do you live here next door? And I said, yeah. I said, are you my new neighbor? He said, yeah. He's like, I'm going to come over and talk to you in a second. Okay. He's a younger guy, probably in his 30s. comes over, introduces himself, and tells me that, like, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went. It wasn't very long, but he was telling me that he's got his wife and they have 3 kids. One of them is a baby that's like 6 months old. And I was like, oh, sweet, we'll have to have play dates. I have a son who's like 1.5 years. That'll be fun. And he says, yeah, I met the neighbors here on the other side. And then he makes a weird comment and says, this part wasn't exactly weird, but he says, yeah, after I met them, I came over here yesterday at like 4 o'clock. Well, he said, I came over here yesterday after meeting them, and nobody was home. And was like kind of weird about it. Like, and I just kind of gave him an odd look. And he goes, yeah, it was like 4 o'clock, and I knocked on the door, and nobody was here. And just the way he was being about it was almost like we invited him over and weren't here when he showed up. But it's like, we never invited you. Like, why are you? It's just like the tone of voice. Like, I don't really know this guy, so maybe I'm misreading it, but or just how it came across. Like, he was kind of aggravated that we weren't there. And so I said, oh, you know, we were gone. We were at Chuck E. Cheese. We'd taken Levi to Chuck E. Cheese with his cousins to go play games and stuff. I didn't tell him all that, but I just said, you know, we were at Chuck E. Cheese. We weren't here. He says, oh, well, do you guys have internet? I'm a horrible liar. So I pretty much don't lie ever because I'm horrible at it. Like, I just get like this dumbest smile on my face. Because my husband told me I should have told him no, that we didn't have it. And a thought crossed my mind because I kind of knew where this was going. Because it's really random just to ask somebody if they have internet. You know? You run out of nuggets? Yeah, you're just eating your honey mustard right now. Did you eat your tomatoes and eat your nuggets? And dip your nuggets in your honey mustard. You dip them. Dip it. Good job. Yeah. So, anyway, I kind of stammer because part of me is like saying, just say no. The other part of me is like, he's going to know I'm lying because, like, who doesn't have internet anymore? Most people have it. So I kind of stammer out a yes. You okay? You're okay, huh? I stammer out a yes, and he says, can we have your password? I just met you, and you want my internet password? I don't even know you. Like, I didn't say that. That's what I'm thinking. And I say, oh, I'd have to ask my husband about that. I don't know. And, like, I'm sure he can tell I was uncomfortable. At least I would hope so. Because I feel like that's the vibe I was giving out. It's like this conversation just went really weird. And he's like, oh, well, can you go ask him? And he, like, points at my front door. Can you go ask him? Like, very pushy about this. Like he's entitled or something to my internet. And after he says it like that, he goes, my kids are just dying for something to watch. And I said, well, like, him and my son are sleeping right now, but, like, I'll ask later. And he goes, okay, well, after you ask him, come on over and meet everybody. Kind of like, you know, come over with the password. We're never going back. It's so weird to ask a random stranger for their internet password. Like, and he's like, you know, we just need it till Wednesday when our internet gets hooked up. And I'll give you money for it. I'm sorry, sir. I know it sucks to go without internet, but when we moved in here, we had to go a while without internet. You know, like, they gave you 8 chicken nuggets. You got an extra pack of nuggets in here. What toy did you get? So, yeah, like, I know it sucks to go without internet. We've done it. You know, we have to wait for it to get hooked up. But, like, I don't know this guy. And, for one, our internet is so slow to begin with. It's stupid slow. You got a little ghost. What is this toy? It's a ghost toy. What does he do? Look at that. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. You're covered in honey mustard. Just wave at him. Hi. Hi. Fine. I'll clean him. I'll clean you. You'll both get a bath. So anyways, our internet is so slow. They've got 2 kids One is like 16, and the other one, I forget how old he said. The other one was like somewhere between 8 and 12. So you know quite possibly these kids are going to be on the internet all night long watching whatever they're going to be watching. And that's going to just, if the internet would even reach that far. Because we have issues with the internet, like the modem box being in the living room, and we have issues getting internet back here in the back bedroom. So, and we have like the high-speed internet from AT&T. We've had people come out and look at it. And they always tell us, oh, your internet is doing just fine. It is crap internet. Yeah, so pretty much like you can have one thing going at a time. So like if I'm doing a YouTube upload, nothing else is gonna work in the house. My husband can't play any games, we can't watch any Netflix, nothing else works. Can't even get on Facebook. So I always do my YouTube uploads at night. That being said, if Netflix is running and I try to start a YouTube upload, it's not gonna happen and it's gonna break Netflix. To further that, what'd you eat your lunch, baby? Got like some more tomatoes, more french fries. You getting full? So, for the simple fact of like our internet is literally a one at a time kind of a deal, we don't really want to share it with the whole other family, even if it's just till Wednesday. Issue number 2. Come Wednesday, we'd have to change our internet password. Don't really feel like doing that. Issue number 3. What if they're in there doing like all kinds of illegal downloads? Like we don't know these people. Don't know them at all. I would assume that they're not, but maybe they are. So that's not smart on our part. Because like the government monitors how much you are illegally downloading things. Like once or twice in a month, like they probably won't say anything. But if you do it a ton, like you can get in trouble for that. So who knows what all they would do between now and Wednesday with that. And the last one that I didn't even realize was a possibility that my husband pointed out, which he's an IT guy, he knows all this stuff that I don't know about. But he said depending on these people's skill level, that if we gave them internet access, they could access anything in our house that's connected to the internet. And he said, I don't know what these people's skill level is. They might not be able to do that. I didn't even know that was a thing. But he said, you know, they could access everything. So that's not good either. Like, are you all done? All done? You getting there? So, which just doesn't feel like a good thing. And so we just never went back over there or said anything. I think they're all at work right now and at school because it doesn't look like anybody's there. They normally have like 2 cars in the drive and there's like no cars. But I feel like they're probably going to show up on our doorstep this evening. And I hate telling people no, it's awkward. Especially when it's like your neighbors, because you have to live with these people, you know? Like, the impression I got off of him, I feel like they'll be there like 6 months to a year. But, which I could be wrong, but it just, I have to live next door to these people, so I don't want to irk them off. I would rather be friends with them. But, on the other hand, like, I currently don't know them at all. Like, need a cup of sugar, need to use the bathroom. Hey, my washing machine isn't here yet. Mind if I do a load of laundry? Stuff like that, probably wouldn't care, but not when your internet has so much like personal information that they could possibly access, and the big one of being in there like just downloading a bunch of crap. That's the one that bothers me, is if they're in there downloading a bunch of like illegal stuff and it like makes the government or whatever flag our IP address. Like, I don't want to have issues and be like, oh, well, yeah, it's my IP address, but like, I'm not the one doing it. It's my neighbors, you know, like. And then to further that, like, my cousin, her neighbors moved in. I know she did it because she felt bad for them. Most of the kids. Really? Oh my goodness. She mostly felt bad for their children because she's pretty sure the mom was on meth. But she's pretty sure the mom was on meth, but she gave them her internet password and it was supposed to be temporary. Those kids, the entire year my cousin lived at that trailer, would come over and sit on her front porch and use her internet. My family never got internet. So, I don't know. I feel like if we give them our internet, we're just opening a can of worms. I'm going to clean him up. We'll be right back to finish lunch. Well, the tiny nugget has left the building. He's off to dreamland, hopefully. The last couple nights, he's been, like, waking up in the middle of the night. Granted, I think he has a little bit of a cold. It's so hard to tell a baby sometimes. Like, he is still, like, a bundle of energy during the day. Running all over the place, eating, drinking, doing his business. But he's got a little bit of a cough. And he's got a little bit of a runny nose. But that's like the only sign of not feeling well. Everything else is like him running around being active and so anyways, the last 2 nights he's like woken up at like 1 in the morning. Last night I think it was about midnight. And the day before it was like 1:30 in the morning. And so got up, checked his diaper. First night he was completely dry. Because the way he was crying I thought like maybe he had like done his business. But first night he was completely dry. Last night was a little wet, but it really wasn't. You know, he could have slept in that, but it wasn't a big deal. But I changed him anyways. And then both nights I made him a sippy cup of warm milk, gave that to him, and then I rocked him. And the first night I rocked him, he seemed like he was going to fall asleep. Put him back in his crib, woke right up and was screaming. So, and his mobile needed batteries, so he didn't have any music. So I found, I can link it below. It's called 8 Hours of Sleepy Time Music. I found it on YouTube. And I used to use it quite a bit when he was like a little tiny baby and we needed music that played a lot longer. Because this music plays for 8 hours and his mobile only goes for 30 minutes. So I went ahead and used that and it knocked him out pretty quickly. Then like 3 to 5 minutes of the music playing, he like passed out. And I feel like my husband and I slept pretty good too with that playing. Because I had to like plug my phone in and so there's like a little cat tree thing like right outside of our bedroom door because my son's bedroom and our bedroom's like right next to each other, so our bedroom doors are right next to each other. So I left the baby's bedroom door open and our bedroom door open and had my phone playing music sitting on the cat tree. And I don't know, I feel like my husband and I slept really good with that lullaby playing. And like I said, my son fell asleep within like 5 minutes. And then last night I rocked him, he was falling asleep in my arms. Went to try to transfer him to his bed, and he woke right up. He was screaming mad. We had replaced the batteries in his mobile by then, so I put on his music, and I like rubbed his tummy, and then he went and like rolled over to his tummy, and so I was rubbing his back, and he started falling asleep, and then like he's all like curled up like sleeping, And he turns around and he goes, whack, and he slaps my hand, and then he comes back around. I'm like, okay, then, I guess you don't want me rubbing your back anymore. So I went back to bed, and he was okay after that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like sleep recession. I don't know if because he doesn't like really feel very good. I don't know. And we've got like these, they're called cold tablets, I think. Can't even remember what the brand is. It's like a healthy brand or whatever. I don't know. They seem to work pretty well. It's supposed to help with like mucus congestion and stuffy noses and stuff. So I've been giving that to him. I don't know. Like I said, it's so hard to tell. His nose might be running because of teething. You know, it could be something like that. I don't know. I mean, granted, he has a little bit of a cough, so I'm leaning more towards maybe a little bit of a cold. But like I said, it's so hard to tell because everything else is like normal 1.5-year-old stuff going on. The bread here on this side is a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to chew. You got a little overcooked. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my son's chicken nuggets because chicken nuggets don't reheat. Since he got 8 of them. I don't know. I don't know if I want honey mustard or not. I love chicken nuggets, but I never like order them for myself. Like very, very rarely. Because I don't feel like they stick with you for long. And then you get hungry and you want more food. So I never order them. So our garage door broke again. Husband got it fixed last night, but it's a pain in the ass. It's something we've been dealing with for like a year now. When I was pregnant with my son, I blame it on the pregnancy. But I was leaving to go get something. And I thought I had backed out far enough of the garage, and I hadn't. And I was driving my husband's car. Not that that's an excuse, because at the time, him and I had the exact same car. We both had Grand Prix. But I say it's because I was driving his car. And I thought I'd backed out far enough from the garage, and I hadn't. And I cranked the wheel to, like, you know, back the car out and, like, turn it a little bit. And I slammed the front bumper into the track for the garage door. Messed that thing up so bad. It is all beat up. And it kind of knocked the garage wall out of place too. So my dad came over, got the garage wall like knocked back into place. And my husband and I have just been dealing with the garage door ever since. Like, we can get it fixed and it'll work for like a couple of months. And then it's like, I don't know what the up downs of it or what's going on, but it like shifts and turns, like the bracket won't stay where it's supposed to. And so when it does that, it tends to let the wheels on the garage door like pop out of place. And then it don't work. So it's a mess, but my husband knows how to like fix it and make it work, but like I said, like every 3 or so months it's popping back out of place. What we need to do is we need to like replace that bracket, but I don't know if they sell those. Like, we've looked for them at like, I think it was Lowe's or maybe it was Menards. We were looking and we could find like garage doors, like the tracks for them, but it was like the entire track system. It's like we just need like this one little piece, so we don't need the entire thing. So I don't know if you can just buy individual pieces. Because it's, even though it's like one big track system, it's broken into like smaller pieces and they're bolted together to make the track system. Like we just need like this bottom piece that's all bent to hell. So hopefully the garage door holds out for the rest of winter. Because it is really nice being able to park the cars in the garage. Because I do not miss scraping ice and snow off my car. Been there, done that. Don't really want to go back to it. So I got apple pies. One for me, one for the baby. I'll save that one back for him when he gets up. I'll warm it up for him. I haven't had one of these in years. It just looked good, and it is good. When I was a little kid, and tell me if you guys had one too, I had a McDonald's apple pie maker. It was a toy. Kind of like an Easy Bake Oven, but for McDonald's apple pies. I vaguely remember it because I was like real little when I got it, like 4, maybe 5. And I remember playing with it with my dad. Him and I making apple pies together. And it's not so much that I remember eating the apple pies or like the toy itself. Like, I don't really have a good memory of it. I just remember playing with my dad and making apple pies with him. So, anytime I eat a McDonald's apple pie, it makes me think of my dad. Good memories. So today's video is a bit of a milestone. My Mukabng channel has been active for an entire month now. Pretty exciting. So I hope you guys have been enjoying. I'm pretty sure this makes video number 7. It's so good. Well, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you want to become a member of the Lunch Bunch, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. That way other people can find it as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.